You're listening to Mr. Save a Home, Becoming an Agent Tour. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host today and always for Mr. Save a Home, Becoming an Agent Tour. First-time listeners, thanks for listening. I really appreciate your time and respect it. Long-time listeners, thanks for coming back. Thanks for giving us a second chance. Hopefully, I keep seeing you guys again. Listen, we don't like a lot of fluff stuff here. We get into it right away. I talk fast. I apologize. I am working on that, believe it or not, so you guys can understand me a little bit better. But there's always the adjustment you can do on the speed, depending on what platform you're listening on. So let's get into it. LLCs. First and foremost, as a disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax person, nothing. I am just me. Okay? I'm giving you my opinion on this matter. I get asked a lot of questions. And I would say one of my top 5 questions is about, hey, do I need an LLC? Should I get an LLC or, LP or whatever? Listen, should you get one? In my opinion, yeah, you should. Do you need one to get into investing? No. Do you need one to buy real estate property? No. Should you get one? Talk to your accountant about that. But I'm going to tell you my opinions, not facts, not law, my opinion on why I think you should get one or why you shouldn't get one. Now, if you are an LLC and you buy a property with an LLC and you decide to go for a loan in your LLC's name, the loan products are different than if you buy a property in your own personal name. Okay? If you buy a property in an LLC's name, the LLC is who owns it. And the assurance is against the LLC and the property. You as an individual could potentially be protected. God forbid if something were to happen, if the tenant were to happen, the tenant in this property that your LLC owns, they decide to sue the owner. They're suing the LLC. They're not suing you as an individual. Now, that is a very broad statement there. Okay? Depending how you structured and set up. And again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. So you should talk to one. But the reason why a lot of people say, should I get one? Should I not? What should I do? And a lot of people say you have to get one. A lot of people say don't worry about it. It goes down to liability and financing. Okay, if you buy a property in your own personal name, you can get a better rate, less down payment, but it limits you. All right, back in the day, which caused one of the reasons why our market crashed, in my opinion, back in 2008, was the issue with people buying these properties in their own personal names all over God's creation and getting these loans, stuff like that. And these banks back then, which are no longer in business, most of them, were giving you these loans as individuals and giving these great rates. And all you did was just overextend yourself. And people were not getting in their LLCs because they got to put more down payment on it. And they get a higher interest rate and so on and so forth. And so they were basically nickel and diming their own business to grow a business. How the hell are you going to grow a business on nickel and dimes though, people? Think about that. You nickel and diming for these little things. Oh, I'm going to save a couple interest here and save this here and stuff like that. But you want to grow this big ass business. You can't grow on a nickel and dime thought process. And so when getting an LLC, it's something you should talk to your accountant about. And nothing against some accountants, but I recommend someone who's an actual CPA. Yes, they do cost more money, but you get what you pay for. Like anything else in life, whether it's clothing, shoes, cars, watches, vacations, airlines, whatever, you get what you pay for. So spending the extra investment into an actual CPA is worth it. And to do it from the door, in my opinion, yeah, it's advantageous, no doubt about it, because you're setting yourself up to create a business, to create generational wealth. At least I hope you'd want to not just be the one night stand guy. You want to be someone who's going to be for the long-term commitment and to build something strong, to build something that's sustainable. And having an LLC or an LP or an S Corp or C Corp, whatever, is, in my opinion, the proper way to start it from. I know tons of people who bought in their personal name one or two and said, okay, I have 4, I have 5, I need to go buy some more now, but I want to protect my wealth that this money I've been making off this. I need to protect it, protect myself and my family. And I'm going to start creating stuff in LLCs and stuff like that. And they do it later on. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely fine. I know people who create LLCs for each property that they own, and that's fine too. People who create trust and whatever. And there's so many strategies out there. I'm not saying one is better than the other or one is worse than the other. What I'm telling you is the most common question I get asked is about creating an LLC. In my opinion, not advice, my opinion is that it is smart to get an LLC created, properly. If you're confident to do it on your own, go ahead and do it on your own. There's plenty of services out there. Personally, I'm very busy and I know what I know and I know what I don't know. So I like to consult with my attorney if I ever want to start an LLC and say, hey, Miss Attorney, this is what I want to do. What is your advice to me as an attorney how to do it? And then I go to my CPA and I say, hey, Mr. CPA, this LLC I want to create. What do you think? What's the best way to do it? What's the best strategy? And they give me their advice because they are CPAs and they are real estate attorneys. Again, I'll make a banging ass burger, but I'm not going to go to Bobby Flay's burger joint and tell them how to make a burger. Ain't happening. So I would recommend you speak to an attorney or a CPA if you're thinking about getting into regular investment, no matter what it is. You want to invest in cars, you want to buy and flip cars, houses, whatever. My recommendation is that you talk to them and find out what's the best structure you should have. But for all intent purposes, for this Mr. Saving Home Becoming an Agent Tour podcast, we're talking about real estate. And my recommendation, or my opinion rather, is that yes, you should get an LLC set up and you should consult with a proper individual to get it set up accordingly to your goals. Your goals are what's going to dictate it. If you're someone who says, I just want 4 or 5, no problem. Be honest. And say, that's all I want to do. I want 4 or 5 places and I'm done. It's like, I don't know how many I want. I just want to keep going. I want to leave my job. I want to create this big real estate investment conglomerate company. Okay, that's fine. Then build your structure up that way from the beginning. Yes, you will spend more money up front, but it's just a long-term investment. And if you do it right from the door, you will recoup your cost 4, 5, 10-fold over. Because you did it right from the door. You didn't cut any corners. Again, you can't build an empire on nickel and dimes, people. It just doesn't work that way. So that's what I got for y'all today. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's somewhat brief, but it's not that complicated. So it doesn't need to be that complicated. Drop me a line at info@navidmoosa.com. Again, that's info@navidmoosa.com. Drop me a line if you want to discuss anything, a topic you want me to cover here. I'll definitely do that. And as always, never chase the money. Always chase the deal. Do right by the client and everything else will fall into place. Be good, people. Take care of yourselves out there.